All right, we're live.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone. Welcome to another episode of Beyond Code. This is a podcast where we go beyond the usual codes and algorithms to delve into the lives of and gather some insights of tech leaders. And we also try to unravel the human stories behind the tech successes which a lot of these leaders have uh, faced recently and achieved recently, right? Understand their personas, their personal journeys, obviously, coupled with their professional journey, and gather some inspiration and some insights as to how they have achieved and try to understand what are the steps they have taken, which has really shaped the contour of the industry that we are operating in, right? And obviously, in today's episode, we are shifting our lens to a topic that kind of resonates very deeply with a lot of you who are currently listening in and tuning in to watch this and listen to this podcast, right? And obviously, in the field, in tech field, which is absolutely it's a VUCA world, as they say, we live in, right? So the volatility, the uncertainty of this industry uh, gives a lot of leverage to indecision making and maybe decision making from a very indifferent lens, right? And that's why the theme that we have chosen to discuss with our esteemed panelist is that why you should choose passion and not the brand itself, right? This is a conundrum that has been with a lot of other folks in the industry, be it like freshers, uh, senior roles or mid-senior roles, right? At what to choose, what to chase, right? And this is a theme that kind of goes beyond the technicalities of our work, and it really touches on the choices that define really our careers, right? And hence we have this focus on why we should be more focused on passion rather than brands, right? And in a realm where it is often overshadowed by large brand names and high profile companies, right? We are trying to explore the essence of what it truly means to follow your passion and how this choice can really impact your life and career in technology, and not just in technology, but obviously in general. We should have that inclination towards passion and not just high profile brand names, right? And obviously to provide some real life perspective on this, very excited to be joined by Ramit. Ramit is currently senior software engineer with Skydo. Ramit's journey has been one of the most amazing journey that you will see, and obviously I would like Ramit to kind of, when we're having the conversation, I'm just hoping that we get a lot of anecdotes and a lot of stories about his journey. Ramit has journey has been a long, a decade-old journey, and it's a compelling example of prioritizing personal passion over the larger industry or the brands that we are talking, right? And his story is not just about technical working or software development. It's about carving a path that genuinely resonates with one's aspiration and values, right? So yeah, so let's get started. Let's try to understand and listen to Ramit's experience of why chasing what you truly love can be the most rewarding choice in your tech career. Ramit, welcome to Beyond Code Conversations. It's fantastic to have you with us today, and obviously we'll have to love to deep dive into your stories. Any opening comments from your end, Ramit?
Yeah, thanks, Amitesh, for having me with you. Right, it's been really nice to you guys are doing this kind of podcast where people can have a lot of insight about what the tech industry is working, how people are thinking about tech and all. Right, that's really nice, and I'm really honored to be part of this podcast with you. So yeah, I have been here in this industry almost more than 8 years, and I have worked with multiple companies. Like I have joined Skydo around 1.5 years back, and I was the first tech guy to join the Skydo. So you understand, right? That time when literally no one is there, and eventually all other engineers joined me. And before that also, right, I used to work with multiple companies. I have worked with before Skydo, I used to work with Goldman Sachs, where I was a VP there. And before that, I multiple companies, few startup like Moneyview and all, and those different companies I have worked there. So yeah,
Right.
it has been a nice and a wonderful journey with me so far. And yeah, thanks for inviting me here again.
Yeah, perfect, Ramit. I think this is what we will try to explore, right? Uh, you took some brands, and obviously they're the industry giants, and everybody loves to work there, right? And that's an aspiration for almost all the tech guys to be associated with the larger companies, right? But this is where the passion play comes into, right? Where if you are doing what you love, and it's all about following what you want really, right? And that's we while having the conversation, I will trying to deep delve deep into your journey from initial days of your career to to Goldman Sachs and then back to Skydo, right? We will try to understand that what real passion is, and obviously we were talking in the background before the session started, Ramit, that understanding of passion becomes real important, and especially when you are at different stages of your career, the passion will means different to you, right? If you are at I'll give you my example, Ramit, that when I was sixth, seventh standard, my ambition or my passion was to become a pilot or or aeronautical engineer, right? But when I kind of became older or started doing understanding the real world, right, my passion started changing, my ambition started changing, right? So this is where we'll try to kind of understand from you that what exactly at what point of life, at what point of time, and especially being in software industry and being in tech industry, what should actually it entails, right? But before that, I think when before jumping in the entire all the critical or technical aspect of passion, let's start on your journey of your personal journey. Just try to understand were you when small kid, how was how was your early childhood, Ramit, right? Were you kind of a very right from the beginning you understood, yeah, this is my passion, I'm gonna follow it, or you were just like a normal kid, doing stuff or doing some crazy stuff, beaten around by parents and by teachers and everything. Yeah. So tell me some amazing stories from your early childhood, Ramit.
Yeah. So I completely agree, right? I mean, I was not like the two exceptional guys who have clear thought about what to do in their life. I was like mostly like a confused kid, like general kids, right? They don't have any plans what to do, what to not to do with life and all, right? So even so for me, right, when I grow up, right, I grew up in a joint family where I have uncle, aunts, and all those whole people. And still, we are in joint family, stay there, right? And so most of my career, I mean, initial days when I was still
Mhm.
sixth standard, seventh standard, I was having no clue about what to do with life. I was like literally I used to love playing cricket, football, all those things.
Mm.
And I used to remember one thing, right? When I was around seventh standard or something. So that time I used to play a lot, like from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. I'm playing all
Yeah.
the time. And once you play that long as a kid, you get exhausted, right? And when I used to come to home and start studying in the evening, I used to fall asleep while studying.
Yeah.
So that is like typical kids behavior, right? And I don't know about the metro city kids, but the people, the place I belong from, right? Mostly the rural places, people are like playing football and cricket and all those things. They really spend a lot of time on playing and doing all those naughtiest things.
Yeah.
And eventually, so one of the funny thing I remember. So when you talk about the passion, right? So my passion also changed over the time. So when I was a kid, I used to wanted to be a cricketer, like every other kid, and I used to think that I'm good with the cricket. I can play, and frankly speaking, I used to play tennis ball, and I used to think that I can play for India.
Hmm.
So you understand, right? That much delusion you used to have. I mean, I used to have when I was a kid. Then one day my uncle asked me, right? So he saw me that I was playing all the time, and when I come to home, I just literally, while studying, I fall asleep. Right? Then he asked me one day politely, right? What exactly you want to do in your life, right? Then I told him I wanted to be a cricketer. Then he said, okay, what are the chances? Do you know? I mean, have you thought about how you're going to go there and all those stuff?
Hmm.
Then I was literally had no clue, right? I was simply thinking I will do it. Then he told me one thing, like I don't know, it might not be that good or something. I'm not sure, but my uncle told me once that in Indian cricket team, right? Let's take Indian cricket team. You want to play for that? So there are billion, 100 billion people in India, and all of them wanted to play there. So the chances of getting there, it's really thin, right? I mean, and for that you need a lot of money to invest on training and all those things. And from people like us, we don't have that much money and to train and all the stuff. So my uncle told me, forget about this. Just concentrate about studies and just become topper of those 200 people in your class, and I think you will have something in your life to have, at least you will manage to get some food to have in the life. So that kind of thought process we used to have, right? I mean, we don't
Hmm.
think too much beyond um our expectations, right? So
Right.
it's like simple thing, just get a simple government job and have a life, chill life, right? So then I realized, yeah, there are chances of getting that. I can beat 20, 200 people in my class, and I can be the topper. And then I took the study seriously, and eventually I when I become went to 10th standard, I topped the school in
Amazing.
batch, right? So and eventually then from there my actual studies started. So then so when I think about studies and all, so that time I used to so that time in my neighborhood there's two guys. So one is the Mukandar Sheikh, and other is
Okay.
the Abhijit Chaudhary. So
Hmm.
those two guys are very close to our home basically, right?
Hmm.
They are around 50 years seniors to me, and
Hmm.
they went to these colleges in West Bengal. That's one of the Jadavpur University, another is Besu, that is the Sipur.
Right. Yep. Yep.
I don't know people know about it or not, but yeah. So those two universities are the premium institute in West Bengal. So these two guys went there for their bachelors, and they did masters and PhDs, and they eventually went to become professor. One of those become professor in IIT Madras in applied mathematics. Other guy went to Alia University, and he's a assistant professor in there as a in mechanical division, right? So those guys went. I used to heard stories about those guys, how they are good, and eventually I learned those guys are much more studious than me. Okay, I
Mm.
used to think, yeah, I just wanted to follow them, but they are way better than me. And from there, I actually got the idea of pursuing masters and PhD and becoming a professor in institute. Right,
Hmm.
that's what my thought was initially.
Right.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah. So Ramit, I think let me plug in the question of passion right here, because uh, we are one at one one spectrum, and one other spectrum we're discussing about passion. And you mentioned that it has changed, it changes from time to time, right? You were
Yeah.
earlier different, and the way you grew up and the surroundings you grew up in, it made you choose a different passion, or it made you understand what your maybe a real passion is, right?
Yeah.
So 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 help me understand, is passion more about getting influenced, or uncovering a passion, or finding a passion? What's the real take? It's like you are passionate about something, you uncover with people who you follow and who are you surrounded by, or you find your passion from the people whom you are surrounded by, right? So what's the real deal? Like, it's like more of an uncovering thing, passion, or it's more like a finding thing, a passion.
So, I mean, the passions could have different, no, definition for different people. For
Mm,
me, at least, what I understood that the people I admire, the people I know, the people I talk to, right? They are
mm,
the more influential part in my life who, make me, when I talk to those guys, right? Like uh, when I personally feel in any industry or wherever, right, you
Mm,
should idolize someone at least, right?
mm,
You try to
yeah.
follow what that guy has done and think about how he's done all those things, right? So even for same thing happened for me, right? When I was from kid to from when I lived my place that
Mm,
time, these two guys are used to be my idol, right? I used to follow those guys, and eventually then that has changed over the time, right? Initially I told that I wanted to pursue PhD, and then I didn't, and I came to tech industry.
mm,
And with the multiple people I am encountered in tech industry, and working with the industry folks, right,
mm,
I understood a few things, and that I kind of like those things, and those liking of those things also makes money for me, right?
right.
Because we stay in real world where we need money out of whatever thing we do best or wanted to do things, right?
Mm-hmm.
if if I have something which I think I'm a passion, and that doesn't give me some monetary benefit out of it, then I personally can't call it as a profession. It could might be a hobby, but for me, passion could be where you make a living out of it, because that's how you choose the career path, and eventually you follow that and go on that path basically. And that passion can change over the time. So when I started the industry, I wanted to become the best software developer. Then
Mm,
one, so eventually, and then I started understanding this different companies. uh, I understand that only development is not only the thing. Along with that, you understand the business and all. If
right.
those two think combined, right now my passion goes with both of those. Right, I
Right.
follow both, where I can learn the business and learn the tech. So yeah, so the passion could be just literally when you
Mm,
talk to someone, and mostly influenced, and also you need to have that you want to do something, right? If you
mm,
don't uh, want to do anything else with your life, then it's fine. I mean,
yeah.
it's no one specialized for anything. If you wanted to do something, you want to pursue something, just go for it. And yeah, it might fail. I mean, sometimes
Mm,
we think this is a passion, and we wanted to invest our time and energy, and we might fail there, but that doesn't
mm,
matter as long as you are learning something from that, and that learning will help you in other aspect of your life and all different careers,
right.
right?
Yeah, I think it's a very fair point, Ramit, because a lot of time what happens while we are, having a discussion on passion and following our passion, right? It is always associated with because we are given that we are fed the stories of, someone has followed his passion or her passion and they have reached that level, right? But a lot of the time, the stories of the other side has not been told, right? People have followed their passion, but they have not reached where they wanted to reach or they did not want it to reach, right? But the idea, that the takeout should be uh, either you learn from the failures or the mistakes that you do while following your passion, or you succeed in it, right? Traditionally it's said that whenever you are doing something that you really love, right, and even if you are failing at it, right, you are just finding one less reason to not succeed, right? Ultimately you will succeed in that pursuit of happiness while following your passion, right? So very rightly put, Ramit, well, you are saying that yes, just follow it for the sake of the passion that is there in me, not for the other surreal things that you want to pursue, right? But just help me with one thing, Ramit. I just want to kind of extend your story from getting obviously mentored and influenced by your surroundings, right? Your initial goal was to pursue PhD, but you kind of decided against it after you observe the challenges that your colleagues and seniors are faced at ISC Bangalore, right? So so what are those factors that led this shift in your perspective or maybe change in your career path? Was it and how does it relate to change of passion? Because obviously you're very passionate about doing PhD, right? But then when you encountered certain things with in real world that led you to change or maybe take a detour from the end goal that you pursued, right? So just help me understand those situation where you were in, what made you think to choose otherwise from PhD.
Yeah, so one of those things I have learned in ISC Bangalore, right?
Hmm.
So So most of my, senior folks from the
Mm,
Jadavpur University, they went to ISC, did their masters or PhDs there. So I knew those guys from the beginning as alumni, right?
mm,
To know those guys, and those guys too very good in studies. And I personally felt that I was not that great in studies in
mm,
Jadavpur when I was doing that. So those guys. So when I see those guys, so I see the stress level, the pressure they have while doing the PhD is like too much. Like because in ISC they look for the quality of the papers, the quality of the research
right?
they do, right? And
Mm-hmm.
not easy place to get a PhD. So initially when I was kid, right, when I didn't even think through about the PhD. So that time I used to think that PhD is another just a course.
Mm,
Like I'll do
mhm.
a BTech and I'll do same
Yeah.
thing PhD. But it's not the same, right? When I came to master, I already got the idea about how PhD is difficult and all. And then when I saw those people in ISC, and because we used to interact with all the people in the my hostel and all those places, right? And when we used to have the hostel messes where we used to have
Mm,
food, so we used to talk to those guys and understand how they are doing. And I literally used to, I personally felt that this is going to be very difficult for me because PhD is going to be another 5 years minimum task, minimum time span I have to spend there. And during that 5 years, I will rigorously, spend my life and energy to find something new, do some research work because I used to see those senior guys, they are always in the labs, right?
mm,
Hardly used to come to the hostel. So I mean, whenever go to the department, I see these guys there in lab. And whenever I go home and come, right,
mm.
even if
Mostly in lab. Yeah.
night, all the time they used to do lab and doing something. They're trying to figure out a lot of issues, a lot of things. And so that one of those things, let me make me scared a lot because and I realized that PhD is a 5 years thing, and after that, it's not like you're getting a job. You have to do
Mm,
another postdoc 2, 3 years, and then it's becoming 8 years, another timeline there. And I,
mm,
I personally feel that I don't have that much, time to invest there. And the return, I personally feel the monetary return, ROI from those efforts is
mhm.
not worth it for me. I personally because when I started my masters, my dad already died, so I don't have
Yeah.
flexibility to
Right.
do all those things. So
Mhm.
and I need to start earning and all. So I think on masters first year, end sem, right after second semester, I decided that yeah, I can't do this PhD. I have to go with the industries and all. So yeah,
Very.
so basically sometimes the reality also makes makes you choose the decisions, right? What path you want to choose, what are the different aspects you have, right? And it's not like a fairy tale that you simply blindly follow, right? You
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
to take the real world scenarios. What are the chances you have in what are the things? And sometimes you are little bit, you understand what is your strength, what are things you wanted to put your effort into. So for
Mm,
me, I personally feel that doing PhD for 5 and another 3 years, I can't do that, and I don't have the luxury to do that. And I
mhm,
personally feel that I'm not that great for a PhD kind of person because those people are struggling, and I personally don't feel that I wanted to spend my time there. So
mhm,
that's one of the reasons I moved to the tech. So and then start enjoying the tech, and it's not like I always wanted to when I started computer science, I started loving coding and all those stuff. Then
mhm.
if I took it seriously, yeah, let's focus on this. This can make I can make something out of it as a living for that, right?
Awesome. Will you still do your PhD if time permits?
No, so basically, time, I think I can do much better thing in my
Mhm,
life apart from the PhD. But PhD is different thing. I'm not saying people who
mhm.
do PhD they are something else.
Yeah.
It's their personal choices, right?
Right.
For me, it doesn't worth it anymore. I rather start a new company for myself and
Mm,
work on.
nice. So let's talk about that. I think let's talk about your tech journey, Ramit, right? How did it all started with an ERP joint, right? And obviously, after you're done with your studies and all, there was a huge decision that you already took for not pursuing your PhD, right? And now you are into industry, you are into corporate setup, right? So how was that your journey? First, explain me about like how was your entry into corporate, and how was your entire experience, right? Just want to hear some amazing stories from that transition from being a student and taking a decision of not going to PhD, taking the corporate route. Obviously, always compare, right? What if I have taken PhD? I might have been doing this. Now I'm here. So how was those feeling? How was those initial days? Maybe 6 months, 8 months. Um, do you felt that this was a wise decision that you took, not going into PhD and taking the tech career?
So personally, I feel whenever I take some decision, right, I take
Hmm.
all the pros and cons. I simply write down all the pros and cons. What are the things
Hmm.
I'm going to gain? What are the things I'm going to
Hmm.
lose? Right? And based on that, I take the decision. So when I thought of going to a tech, right, I was pretty clear.
Hmm.
Before that I was for 1 month or more, I was literally, pushing myself. Yeah, why can't you do PhD? Let's do for PhD. So basically, I was fighting with myself.
Hmm.
So I was trying to convince myself, and then I convinced myself that yeah, this is not going to be the uh,
Hmm.
where you have all those you wanted to follow, because it's not feasible for me.
Right.
I decided that I will go in a trip, and then I started my career with Oracle, right?
Hmm.
So placement from the campus. I went there in Oracle, and during the Oracle time, I used to have a lot of fun. I mean,
Hmm.
I loved, and I have made some friends there,
Hmm.
right? Who are still my friends, and they become more than friends to me. They are like family now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So those initial 2.5 years I spent in Oracle, and that was a really amazing time I had. I mean,
Hmm.
I can't complain more because at the end of the day, right? Sometimes we thought about different positions and all, right? But at the same time, you also wanted to make some people who are always there to support you, right? So those
Hmm.
are there who are always there to for me for supporting anything, either
Hmm.
it's technical discussion, it is emotional discussion, whatever, right? Because all those guys are in tech industry, they are doing great in their life. They are also doing going different places, right? And I got connect with those guys, understand what are the different things are there in industry, what are the different trends happening. So those friends we have, right? We spend time talking about all those good times and the future ahead. What are the different plans they have? What are the plans I have? Right? So eventually, what I personally feel that when you work in any companies, the people are the important people, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
don't personally organization doesn't matter. Only matters is the people around you whom you
Hmm.
work with, and eventually they also help you to grow in your career. They shape you in different ideas with different thought process they have. Because when you meet so many people in a company, right, you
Hmm.
are, you learn something from those guys, and
Absolutely.
some
Yeah, yeah,
qualities
yeah.
of there. Right? Everyone has have some unique qualities, and you
Hmm.
just and as a receiver, you just have to consume those no the qualities from those and try to incorporate in your life. So that's
Hmm.
what I did my over the career. And so yeah, I spent good amount of time in Oracle, and that was my first company. So I was really, so when I left the company, right, I was literally on my tears. So my
Hmm. Yeah.
thoughts of me literally were literally crying, even though that I'm not going to move my location, whatever I stay, I'm staying there, and that people also staying there to me. But still, like, yeah, we're not going to be in same company. That's the yeah. So those are very emotional time for me, and I really enjoyed the whole time there.
Yeah, yeah. I think the first is always emotional, right?
Always,
First
always.
company, everything first is always emotional, and it's fantastic to hear that because, you know, generally jobs and companies, and especially these days where the stickiness to a particular job is not that high, right? Um the attachment is not that, people are saying that people are leaving companies left, right, and center every 8 months, 6 months, and there is no attachment to the firm, right? So, and you rightly said that it's more about people, right? It's not about, I will just put in from a company's perspective that it is more about the culture that they create
Correct.
around those people because that ultimately will create that persuasive environment within the company, right? And you mentioned, right, even though you are in the same city but you are not in the same company, and that kind of speaks a lot of volumes about the culture which the company has created by hiring such people, making sure that they are being heard, they are feel belong, right? And that takes the best out of them, right? And then this still holds true to a lot of the firms and a lot of the companies that pay attention to culture and creating such environment. And that's why I think you see there a stark difference between companies with great culture. Their attritions are not that great. Their attrition are great in terms of numbers, and people with not so companies with not so good culture there, people are leaving, right? And but it's still, the basics are the same, right? You take care of people and the people will take care of you, right?
Correct.
That's what we are on to it, right? So going ahead, Ramit, I think let's try to understand. You had some amazing experience at your first company. You were just even though you wanted to take a leap of faith by moving out of a different firm, right? But you still had that love, that emotional bond with the people that you had in the company. When you move to the second firm with that experience now of corporate setup, right? Because now you don't have a campus background, you have a corporate background. You move to a second firm, right? So I want to understand how would you kind of rate this move in your career when you are no more a fresher, you have now corporate experience, you are moving from a firm to firm B. How was that, that transition or that experience went out for you?
Okay. Yeah. So after Oracle, I went and joined a startup.
Hmm.
So, but this no this transition was not that great for me. Okay.
Okay.
So I stayed in that particular firm. I don't want to take care of the I don't want to take the name of the company. Okay. So in that company, I stayed only for 6 months. Okay.
Okay.
So understand, because it's not about the people you work with, right? I mean,
Hmm.
people and the culture of the company, all those things really matters. And
Right.
personally didn't find that much, attached to that company, or
Hmm.
maybe I'm not sure what exactly what are the parameters, but it triggered me very soon in that particular company that I can't stay here, because it's
Hmm.
like it literally like sometime when you move, right, it might be
Hmm.
better, might not be better, but that's fine. But
Hmm.
when I joined that company and stayed there, I was literally from the first day. So the problem was, right,
Hmm.
uh, one of the things I don't know, I when I got hired to that particular company, they told me that I'm going to work. So basically, I was always working on Java as a language, right? So I went there, and they had when I was doing the interviews, I told them I wanted to work with Java, because I don't want to go the old code program language and all those stuff, because those are dying. I personally feel that's my personal opinion.
Hmm.
So when I went there, and they gave me the PHP based application, and then I have to work. So that is the first thing, and it's literally strike me. What is this? I didn't want it for to join this for this particular thing, right? And so I keep on asking those guys, give me something better. I wanted to work on new technology stacks, right? So that I have something new learning. I don't want to go to the older tech stacks, right? And that did happen with the all those 6 months, right? 3 4 months. Then I realized I can't. So I personally feel, if you don't like the job, right, the
Hmm.
work you're doing, if you don't like it at all, it's going to become so bad for you. All those, it will impact everywhere in your life.
Right.
Better just leave that company and go to some different firm, different company, where you will enjoy the stuff, right?
Hmm.
So that's when I decided to leave that company and join another startup, that is the Moneyview. I joined
Hmm.
Money, and I was pretty clear about those guys. I told them I'm leaving this previous company because they promised me this, and they are not fulfilling the promise of the work they have. And the people, the directors in Moneyview, right, they make sure that I'm going to get the exact thing what I asked, and they make sure of that I was going to work on Java, because their also application was running on
Right.
Java, those things. So I joined them, and then I went into a startup where actually real I felt the real startup, right? Because
Hmm.
you, I get to explore my own things. I wanted to explore, so, right? Whenever you join something, you wanted to explore your own stuff. And this Money View gave me all those freedom and all, right, so that I can explore all those different things, learn those new technologies. And thank God, during the journey of Money View, I met the person whom I really admire, and he also is the head of engineering in Skydo right now. Okay,
Nice.
so that time I used to so he used to be my manager there, right, in Moneyview. So we used to work closely, and I knew him, and we closely worked for 6 months
Hmm.
there. So he left and he go join another startup, and I was still there, Moneyview. And then I started to work, keep on working Moneyview. I was enjoying the Moneyview work and all. And then after during the lockdown time, right? That time, a lot of things were happening in the industry, right? People
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
having money crunches because the whole market was not that great because
Right.
a lot of things, right? So when
Mm,
we are in Moneyview, we used to have I used to manage this payment and collection platform we have,
mm,
and I used to have all exact data points, how much payments we're getting from the customers, how much money is going out of the things. So I got the idea how we they're doing, right? And also those things are there, but along some time, right? I personally feel if you don't learn new things from anywhere, right?
mhm,
And you should be learning all the time. If you're not learning, when the day you stop learning something new, you should question yourself, what are you doing there? are you
right.
are you in right place, or are you not doing it yourself, or what exactly the problem? So after 1 year, amazing 1 year, I also had nice teammates there in Moneyview, and those people are still there with me as like
Mm,
the sisters, younger brothers, right? They're still connected with me. They call, we talk all the time, right? And so when I decided to move on from Moneyview, that is because I'm not able to find someone who I can learn from,
mhm,
and also the whole market was not doing great, and there's no certainty of the all the startup companies and all.
right.
Then I decided to move to only the MNCs. So during that time, I only went for interviews in MNCs. I didn't
Mhm,
go for startups. So I went, I went for MNCs like Amazon, Walmart,
mhm,
Sachs, all, and I got offers from Walmart and Goldman Sachs, right? And one of my colleagues from Oracle, right? She went to Goldman Sachs, right? And
mm,
she referred me in Goldman Sachs. And
mhm,
when I got the offer from Goldman Sachs, I literally decided to go there and join the Goldman Sachs.
right.
And yeah,
So Ramit, I just want to ask you a question because while you were moving to Money from your earlier startup, you had to take a decision, right? Even though there was a not great alignment with the expectation that you were given, it was not aligned to your expectation. And taking that decision to leave that firm and join a Money, does clarity in your passion helps take these decisions, or it is something else that really because it's a difficult decision, right? At the end of the job, you're leaving a job, right? Because leaving a job itself is a difficult decision to make, right? And you're leaving a job on your own terms because you did not like the expectation which was set, right? And so my question again, it ties down to a theme of today's podcast, whether having a clarity of your passion helps you take such difficult decisions, Romit, in your opinion?
yeah, I personally feel that because so that time I was having clear thought that I wanted
Mm,
to learn only the new technologies. That thought process might be, people might not agree with me, like why don't you want to learn the older ones? But I personally feel that I wanted to learn only the new technology stacks. And so that actually literally uh, pushed me to
mm,
take this decision, right? Because I knew I can't, if I keep staying here, if I'm not learning the new things in the industry, I lag a lot from the other people and all, right? So I don't want to do that. And that actually literally pushed me, right? Yeah, it's a matter, right? Let's
yeah.
go to another startup where they
Mm,
can offer me and make sure that they have that exact tech stack that we're looking for, or whatever
correct.
they're using. And
Yeah.
even during my interviews with Money, I make sure that if you do this, I'll leave the job again. I don't care, right? I mean, if I don't like the work here, I don't going to stay here anywhere. It doesn't
Mm.
matter. So
So I think passion. So what I just want to kind of summarize for our
mm,
audience here, passion brings clarity, right?
Correct.
And clarity helps you take that decision whether you want to do it or not, right? So yeah, I
Right.
think for audience who are listening, it's more about you know, passion will help you take that decision, but after passion there is a step where you should understand that what you really want to do with your skill set, or with the, you know, the ecosystem which you have. Maybe it's your technical skills, with your behavioral skills, with your surrounding mentors and whatever it is, right? You should have that clarity that yes, I want to do this with my this skill sets. And obviously if you have that clarity, the decision making will be easier for you, right? Fantastic. I think it was a well put point, Ramit. It was because this is something that everyone struggles with. That's why I thought that why not bring that point to you, right? So just kind of now let's deep dive into your journey at Goldman Sachs, right? Uh, you got promoted very nicely, or based on your competencies, right? And just to for our audience who are who are listening to this podcast, it's very important to understand what goes into getting an appraisal or getting promoted, or climbing the hierarchy of corporate, right? So for them, can you break down few pointers that what you should be doing right, in your setup, if you want to go up the ladder in your company, right? And be it a small, big, whatever companies, right? Just want to understand few generic general pointers in your opinion that worked for you, you know compared to others, Amit. Yeah.
Got it. Personally, what I feel, right? You don't given to a role which you are not doing, like, you are not working like that particular role, right? Roles are earned, right? Any promotion or anything, you just earn it. It's not
Right.
given to you, right? So I personally even I got the clarity long back when I started my in this journey with my in this industry, right? And I used to be very focused about things, right? The few things I personally like that I wanted to tell the folks who are listening, right? So you
Hmm.
should be very much into the accountability part, right? Where whatever you're building, whatever you're owning, right, you should be accountable for that. It doesn't matter whether you're junior engineer, software engineer, architect, engineer, manager, doesn't matter. If you're owning that particular thing, make sure that you have all the things to take care of those issues or whatever, right? You should be accountable for those, and no one should ask you to take this thing, yeah, just take it and all, look into it. It shouldn't be
Hmm.
like that. It should be come from inside. And once you have those kind of things, right, people little generally everyone notice. Even I notice the things. Even people in Goldman Sachs, my MDs noticed that thing earlier, right? So
Hmm.
what I used to do everywhere, right? I used to told my immediate managers that I wanted to reduce burden of yours.
Hmm.
Whatever things you're doing, I wanted you to reduce your burden from those. I'll take care of few of your things. That's the thing, simple thing anyone can do, right? Anyone can ask for. Just take the accountability, take a serious effort to work through those things, right? So yeah, so even like same thing that did with when I was in Goldman Sachs or Money, right? I used to tell those managers that let me take care of your things so that you have you can spend time of your time something else, so that eventually we as a team can grow as become a bigger team, or we can achieve a bigger milestones in our team basically, right?
Hmm.
So basically the I personally don't care about how talented or anything you are, as long as you are not putting effort. Those talent doesn't make count anywhere, right?
Hmm.
I might be very I might have sharp head, I can think a lot of things, but if I'm not putting those things into an actual action, right, it doesn't make
Hmm.
sense, right? So yeah, as long as you are loyal to your role or whatever things you have been given or whatever things you have earned, and you should be good enough to excel in industry basically.
Yeah, basically, like accountability and ownership is something that helps you, in making a mark, right? Because anyways, it's always a game of how how well you are portraying your skills and to what use you are portraying your skills, right? You might have amazing skills, but if you're not putting those amazing skills to use. It's not, uh, it's not a implementable. You have to implement those skills, right?
Yeah.
Fantastic. I think, Ramit. On that note, I just want to ask you, because this is an amazing journey that you're going through in Goldman Sachs, right? And at one point of time, now you decide that you are now, you want to leave the position and want to start your career at Skydo, right? What was exactly going through your mind? Because this is again, and I will again ask you the same question, Ramit. How does it all tie down to your passion bit? Because from you have that journey from startup to corporate to startup, then startup to corporate or larger enterprises. Now that's again you want to transition from a large corporate setup to a startup. How what was going through your mind during this transition from Goldman Sachs to I do?
Yeah, yeah. So when I joined Goldman Sachs, right, the first thing about any organization, I personally feel the people, right, the management you are directly reporting, or the
Hmm.
higher management there, right, they should be welcoming enough. So for my in my Goldman Sachs time, right, I have those amazing leaders in my life, and
Hmm.
still I still one of the time, right, like my MD used to be there, right, he used to literally take care of everything for me. Like I joined during the COVID time, so you understand, it's a remotely. I joined a company. It's a big firm and everything. A lot of things you wanted to prove, a lot of things, during that time, but it's
Yeah.
lot of gaps from the location wise, remotely working, all those things,
Yeah.
right? And they make sure of all of those things that you are comfortable enough here, right? So when I joined Goldman Sachs, they told me, don't worry about your, I know you want to do a lot of things, and you might not be able to do it in this short time. Just take your time, learn things about the firm and all, right? And so they just make sure that I'm having my good time there, and I literally have my great time there. I learned a lot of things about the this investment banking industry, right? How that works, because I was new to it. I
Hmm.
was I was not aware of the lot of terms there that the investment industry uses.
Hmm.
So I learned things and how they build their systems, which handle that much, that much kind of scale, right? People doesn't know how much the scale Goldman Sachs has, but I have particular, handled those kind of applications where the scales is huge, right? So after I was enjoying that time, but after that was because I have worked with the startups, right? And I understood one thing, that the fintech industry has a lot of potential to for the people who work with, or as a founder or whatever, right? You
Hmm. Hmm.
do a lot of things with the fintech. So I was talking to Avijit, right, the head of engineering here, right?
Hmm.
So before leaving Goldman Sachs, I was talking to him once, right? I wanted to change and pursue a startup again, because the industry and all those things has been settled down because COVID was gone and all those things, right? And even I told my MD in Goldman Sachs that
Hmm.
sort of I wanted to pursue this uh, different career path, and uh, so basically it's a very emotional reason for me, right? Emotional in the
This
sense
this
that
yeah, certainly, yeah.
it's those guys have taken care of everything for me, and but also sometimes you have to be a little bit selfish about yourself, because you wanted to achieve something, you wanted to earn something.
Hmm.
So I told him, and Saurabh was really happy that I wanted to explore something new, right?
Hmm.
He told me, yeah, okay, if you want to do think once again, you can think through, let me know. If it's not, I'm also fine with you. Whatever you want to do, you will be doing great. So don't worry. So he gave me a lot of confidence during that time when I was thinking about moving from Goldman Sachs to any other firm, right? Any other
Hmm.
startup. So at that time, I was not sure whether I'm going to join Strider or anything. I haven't heard about Strider that time.
Hmm.
Then me and Abhijit also having no used to talk in between sometime. Then he also joined Strider, so he was leaving his previous firm and previous startup and joining this Skydo, right? So he asked me, would you like to join me here? Okay. And this time, this is going to be a different journey, because the money view when I joined, it was already in series C or B, I guess.
Hmm.
And when I'm joining Skyro, that time is seat level, basically 0 to 1 wala path we are having.
Correct. Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
And so I was a little bit skeptical about things, but also wanted to explore this startup, right? If I don't go to a place, and I won't be able to learn all those crooks from there, right?
Hmm.
So I then, because Abhijit was there, so I got a lot of confidence that, yeah, what will happen bad there?
Hmm.
Happen bad. Nothing can, if anything goes wrong, it's fine. I can find another job
Yeah.
after a year or so. It doesn't matter. So let's go and see, explore how good or how bad we are doing. And I from there, and eventually, because one of the, I'm not sure, I heard something from someone that uh, uh, you might be, let's say organization is a big truck, right? In MNCs, what can happen? You can be a small screw in the whole truck.
Hmm.
In a startup, you can be the engine of this whole truck, right?
Right.
And but that doesn't mean that the screw is not important, right? Screw is also important, but I wanted to be an engine, right? So I'm not saying people are staying in the, MNCs are not doing justice to themselves, but it's different people, different path they want to choose. So for me
Perfect.
to be
Yeah.
something bigger, smaller people also doesn't matter to me, right? So
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. I think good, well put, Ramit. It's very important, right? That you keep, all this decision making happens, keeping yourself at the center of everything, right? You should not be getting overwhelmed with the brands as we have proposed, right? Not get overwhelmed with the larger names or larger brands. But you should keep yourself at the center, and probably passion coupled with people, right? It will help you give that confidence which you had, that even if something goes wrong, you have your skills and you have the capability to maybe find another job, do something of your own, right? So that will this confidence is a function of you being confident about your passion in your skill set, and obviously it has to be coupled with a good set of people surrounded by you, right?
yeah,
Fantastic. uh, so we had this tradition of playing quick rapid fires with all our panelists, Amit. So I will not spare you on that. So let's do a quick rapid fire, not a lot of questions, 5 questions, straightforward. Don't think too much, just get into it, and just from the top of your mind, what your heart says. Okay, we'll get
okay.
started now. Uh, Coding side or business side?
Right now I can say both. Earlier,
Okay,
yeah, earlier when I was initial career time, that time I could have said coding, but right now when I once I understand the business part of it, I still wanted to,
okay,
invest my time also in the business,
okay, fair enough. Individual contributor or working with a team?
working with the team.
Investment banks or startups?
Startup.
Okay. Working from office or working from home?
I'm a personally most of office person, but
Hmm.
sometimes I also wanted to have, work from home to sort it out few things. Sometimes you become overwhelmed in the office because a lot of people will be there, and you taking a lot of things in office, taking care of a lot of things, right? But sometimes you need that small space
Yeah,
of.
yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
mostly I choose to work from office, and sometimes work from home.
Perfect. Overworking or working for passion? How do you see folks who put in extra work?
Um, I personally feel you can't put anyone in overworking, right? If people
Mm-hmm.
are working, they are doing from out of their own heart. And I
Mm-hmm.
personally, I love to work, right? So even sometimes people will find me 6 in the morning. Sometimes they find me at the night. Sometimes available for random things.
Yeah,
It might be so. It doesn't matter if you like something, you love to spend time on that. And I
awesome.
personally still like the work I do. I don't care how much time or what is time. I don't care. I just,
Perfect. Yeah, cool. Fantastic, Ram. That was it. I think I think we have some space for asking. I think we have some questions from our audience. Let me take a quick one question. I think you can elaborate on that. Uh, what advice do you have for early career engineers aspiring to progress to progress their tech career? So any advices for these folks early in their tech careers, maybe 1 or 2 years? How do you what are 5 things that they should be taking care right now so that their career is protected and maybe have a longer career?
Okay, I personally feel tech industry is a ever evolving industry where every time new things are coming, and it's very important to make sure that you are up to the speed of those industry standards and what's happening there, right? So basically, make sure that you have all the you're learning all the new things happening. And one thing I'll tell wanted to tell everyone that sometime when I was just a kid, that I thought once I'm done with studies, I don't have to study at all. Right. But in reality is that even now I have to study.
Yeah,
Right. All the time I'm studying something, whether it's a tech related thing or business related thing, right? You have to learn and you have to keep on studying things. Unless and I personally feel if you are not learning new things, it's a dead end for you. Just keep
right.
learning. As long as you keep on learning, you will go to places. Doesn't matter what
Awesome.
you do in your life.
Perfect. I think a big summary to to the advice. I think it's an ever green advice that everyone should have, right? Keep learning. I think keep reading, keep being aware of your surroundings, right? Because reading books, reading things will never get wasted. Knowledge is never get wasted. It will come to you. It will come to you at any point of time, and you never know when it comes to you, right? Perfect. I think, Ramit, it was an amazing discussion. I think passion is an area which is ever discussed, but I don't remember, it was discussed with such zeal and such anecdotal experience from your life, right? Now I think people who have listened to it or who will be listening it to in future on various their platforms, right? They will have decent enough clarity on a difference between passion, hobby, how and when passion changes, and how does passion helps you in making decisions through clarity, through choosing right people and mentors. So fantastic, Ramit. It was really a pleasure having you here. I hope we catch up soon and we'll get some more uh, insights from your life in near coming episodes. Any closing comments from you, Ramit, for our audience?
Yeah. Thanks, Amitesh. I had really had a nice time with you talking about all those aspects of my life. But yeah, I mean, whatever you guys are doing, it's I think you are doing a great job. Keep on doing that, and hopes this conversation we had, right? Someone will learn something out of it, or
Absolutely.
might be benefiting someone. So hope for that. Thank you for.
Thank you so much. And thank you to all the listeners and viewers who have tuned in. And yeah, I hope you had a good time and had some key insights and inspiration from Ramit's journey. Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a good day, guys. Bye bye.